Going live. Here I am, I'm live. Check me out. What'd I do? I think I'm good. All right, am I good? I think I'm good. All right, you're notifying viewers that I'm live. Okay, I'm live. So, good morning. This is a pop-up. Some of you may have known that I was gonna do a TikTok live today. And if you know anything about me, Kia, nice to see you. You know that I like to start at top of the hour. I'll be honest. Good morning, Carla. Nice to see you as well. I like to stop at what we call top of the hour, like 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, because it helps me, it makes it easier for me to figure out what time I should start and kind of how much time we have left and all those. If I do it any other time, that's too random for me. The math, it doesn't work. But good morning. As I said, some of you may have known that I was going to do a pop-up today, but you didn't know when, but here I am. And I will be honest, I had thought of showering prior to this. I feel a little bit less than fresh, shall we say. We had a day yesterday. And I love it. Sam Sankovich is saying, good morning. This is perfect before organizing some closets today. Yes. Hopefully no storms. No storms. Awesome sauce. I'm not sure where you are. Carly Fournier, nice to see you. I love it. All these friendly names and faces, and Mary and Dawn, and I don't want to call out everybody because sometimes I lurk. I don't want to be called out, but I just want to say, hey, welcome. I was going to shower, and then I realized after moving, I started moving some furniture because we have some people coming over. And I realized I was going to be a sweaty Betty for that anyway. So, Dana Reynolds, hi, nice to see you. So here I am. I'm kind of grungy. I seriously probably have some mascara under my eyes from last night. It is the, what do I want to call it? The waterproof kind. I don't know how to get it over. So anyhow, okay. Oh, goodness. Well, stay safe. So Awesome Sauce is in southern Illinois near Kentucky. There are supposed to be tornadoes here today. No, luckily here. Okay, here's the good vibes. Here, I'm going to just slide myself over. These are the good vibes I would request, though. We have good weather for today. So I'm in, and if we haven't met before, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. Why destination, you may ask? Well, I'm about to tell you, because life is a road trip, and I love to travel, and as soon as you think of life and decluttering as a road trip and not a commute, it changes everything. But here's where I want there to be good weather. Tomorrow morning, around between 5 and 8 a.m. Eastern time. So I'm in Pennsylvania, in the Philly area, so I'm in the East Coast time frame. Oh, feeling a nice breeze right now. Yes, I want the breeze now, but tomorrow we head out for over a week, just about a week of travel, which requires us to go on a plane. So that's when I want the good weather. But thank you. Yeah, Carla, so stoked for our Zoom and big workings. Okay, I love it. Oh, thank you. And Idaho Princess, I will have fun on my trip. And Germany, well, if this isn't just like, and it's so funny because you all don't know that I know you all. So this is wonderful. G. Schnauzer, nice to see you. On the struggle bus today, here's the great thing about the struggle bus. G. Schnauzer, ding the bell, the bus will stop. You can get off the struggle bus because you're not even driving it, okay? Get off the struggle bus. You can get off at any time, and no matter where you get off, you can start getting into your car and deciding to drive somewhere else. That bus is going somewhere you don't want to go. Ding the bell. It'll slow down. It'll open the door. You can walk off, okay? Good morning, Erin. Nice to see you. I see your little coffee cups. I'm drinking water this morning. I am hydrating. But yeah, it's so wonderful. And I love it. Cat Mama says, yay, been checking every hour. Yes, I decided to do it a little bit late today. Yesterday, I'll just share really quickly to just get it out of the way. Yesterday was the memorial service for our friend who passed away. And so it was a fun, heartfelt day. And let's just say I'm hydrating. But I wanted to make sure, because I did say, and this is the thing, I say this to you, because I say it to me, is learning, practicing, showing up and keeping your promises, not just to other people, but to yourself is a wonderful way to be. And decluttering, actually, it's one of those things. You promise yourself you're going to declutter and then you don't. You promise somebody else you're going to do that and then you don't. It kind of makes you feel crappy when you make your promises to yourself and to other people. So I made a promise yesterday on the TikTok Live that I would show up today, but I said it was flexible. So when you say to yourself, like there's a certain amount of specificity when you're decluttering and doing things that can maybe benefit you, but also be flexible with it, you know? Oh, yeah, you know what, Carly? This is where we start. This is so cool because, yeah, learning to trust yourself even on those baby steps. That's how you practice it. It's like building a muscle. And you start small. You start with those little dinky, like, I always think of this. This is going to be such a insider Gen X reference that many of you may not get, but this is where I think of, is there used to be like an exercise franchise in my area when I was growing up. I grew up in Massachusetts, and it was called Gloria Stevens Salon. And it's so funny because there was like this cartoon of a lady who was in like probably a leotard, and she probably had like hair like Dolly Parton. Start with those small little Gloria Stevens weights. They were probably pink and they weighed like 2 pounds. Keep the small promises to yourself, and then you can keep bigger promises to yourself. And I say this as kind of a declutterer, but also a life coach, or maybe I'm going to life coaching and I'm back in clutter. But the cool thing is they all are intertwined and related. Yes, Bobby Dugas is saying, agree, give grace, be flexible, have fun. Peace, love, togetherness, and having fun. So, what's on your declutter agenda today? Do you have anything? I will say this, if you don't, that's totally okay too. You weren't meant to work all the time. If you have, hun. Oh, it's live. It's not Memorex. Okay. Danielle is saying my sunroom. Okay, so destination. This is how I like to think of it. Destination, yeah. You can't make this stuff up. Destination, ... sunroom. So, I love it. Cheryl's saying, I'd like to part with at least 5 clothing items. Cool. I love that too. Notice the specificity. Not my whole house, not I'm getting rid of all of my clothes, or I'm going to go through my entire thing. Chunk things down. Kitchen tidy up. I love that. I have a little bit of a tidy up going too. Living room, good. Okay, so here, notice how you have an idea. And this is where, if I was sitting at my desk, I would be kind of pointing to the visual of kind of a point A and a point B at a map with a little dotted line in between, a little car. Kind of like the Game of Life car. Notice that your room looks a certain way here, but you don't want it to look that way. What do you want it to look like? What are you aiming for? What are you aiming for? This is a really handy thing. So simple yet so powerful. And this is your destination. So destination living room. And here's a tip. I tell this to my clients all the time, so I'll offer it to you too. Is when you say, well, I don't like how it looks right now. I don't. I'm in the negative. I don't like this. I don't like that. That is wonderful information. Okay? Wonderful information because you can flip it. If you don't like how it's this way, what's the opposite of that? Now, I love this, Colleen. I will say I did the same thing. Okay, Tammy is cleaning off the dining room table. Colleen's got water bottles, Johnny. Water bottles, matching lids and plastic containers and lids. Match up and purge them both. I love it. All right. I'm dealing with clothing moths and have to bag up my wardrobe today. Any advice? I'll be honest with you. I don't know a lot about moths. I know that mothballs end up smelling like old people. So I don't know, user 5379. I don't. Maybe this is, I tend to come from things from a decluttering perspective. So maybe this is an opportunity for you to declutter some clothes you didn't like and be like, oh, well, they smell like moths. Gotta go. So, Erin is saying, filled 2 bags of clothing for Salvation Army yesterday, going to throw out all the single socks today. All the single ladies. Yeah, all the single socks. And as soon as you do that, and I'm cracking up because it's probably one of those things that may help. As soon as you do that, you know some socks are going to be like, hey, here I am. It happens. But congratulations for doing that. Okay. There's one thing I'm taking down off the wall today and tossing in the trash. It says definitely not a cat. You go, people. You know, I love this. Carla says a friend called, said, let's start clothing today, and we worked several hours together. Okay, so what a cool thing. Getting some help, and you don't even need to be in the same room. Now, when I coach, I'm not in the same room as you, except because we're on Zoom. But it's notice when you have that kind of accountability, and you're doing it for yourself, but you're also doing it for a friend. You just find the things that work for you. Okay, Mary's staining more of the deck, finishing up the mulch bags, and tidying the first floor. Good thing. Notice what we're doing too is we're declarationing. We're declaring what we're going to do. We're stating our intention. This is what I'm going to do, right? This is what I'm going to do. Just experiment with this. You know what you're going to do. You're here and you're going to do this stuff. What do you want the end result to be? Even not the end result like ta-da. How do you want it to look? How do you want it to function? How do you want to feel? That's what I love about decluttering, is it is a way of you learning how to make decisions, to do things that you know are going to make you feel good. If you knew, like decluttering, you don't do it to make yourself feel crappy. You're not like, I'm going to get on this road and I'm going to do all these things so that I feel crappy at the end. Yes. No. You're going to do it to feel better. Okay? So let's sit there. How does it feel? Pretend suddenly, instead of 10:13 a.m. Eastern, it is 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Even just whatever many hours is that? Is that 10 hours from now? 10:13. So it's like 10 hours from now. You've done the decluttering. You've done all these things you say you're going to do. How's that going to feel? How does that feel? Let's just not even going to anticipating it from here. Pretend you're there. How does that feel? Feels pretty good. Feels pretty good. That's why we're doing it. Okay, so just remember the destination part. Now, sometimes the journey, I've been on some kick-ass road trips. They're not all like a Chevrolet commercial. I've driven all the way from Chicago to LA on Route 66, legit. There are days and hours of that journey that are boring and tedious, and there's nothing around but desert. So I'm not going to be here pretending that all of your decluttering is going to be woohoo. But you know what? When you have something you're aiming for, you will continue when the novelty wears off. You can get excited about the destination. You can feel into it right now. Okay? And I love it too, to get back to the moss, some people are saying, and this is, I'm also rereading the comments for the TikTok live recordings that will be on the YouTube channel, is cedar chips. People were recommending cedar chips for moths. So there we go. Yep, Carla's doing what we would call in the ADHD biz body doubling. Hey, I'm going to do this. You're going to do that? Okay, I'll check in with you in an hour. Or you get, a friend of yours doing it, things that work for you. Okay? I'm too embarrassed to allow help. Okay, Lisa, let me help you with that. You said you were too embarrassed to ask for help, but I'm helping you anyway. So see, he asked for it. You asked for it, you got it, Toyota. Embarrassment is on this side. I want you to think of different words and how they make you feel, and different feelings and how they make you feel. I am too embarrassed. Embarrassment, shame, fear, judgment, being mean to yourself is all kind of on this side. On the one hand, you can feel embarrassed. If you feel embarrassed, I'm embarrassed at how bad things are. I feel that embarrassment. I don't ask for help. There's another side to the story, though. I'm feeling like every time I do this, I'm like, am I absolving of your sins? Christ has died. Well, Sunday, anyway. On the other hand, don't be embarrassed. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. Embarrassment stops you from changing it. So let's feel something better. Be like, you know what? Look at me. There's over 100 people right now on this random TikTok live that knew I was coming on or scrolling past me. So organic. There's a magnet right here because so many of us struggle with clutter. So much of even struggle. I'm struggling with it. So many of us, how about this? Non-judgmental word. We have stuff that clutters up our house. Okay? You have stuff. We all do. There's nothing to be embarrassed. Would you be embarrassed if you didn't know how to roller skate? Would you be embarrassed if you didn't know how to drive a car? No, you would learn how to do it. Now, if you want to feel shame about it, that's just going to keep you stopping. But here, don't Absolve yourself from the crappy feelings that are stopping you from doing something. And we're here, you know? And I can help you with this. A lot of decluttering, I will share with you guys, a lot of decluttering is a skill you haven't learned and a habit that you have that keeps you cluttered. A habit and a skill. A habit and a skill. Nothing wrong with that. You get skills and habits that get you to where you want to go. You get habits and skills that are kind of keeping you where stuff isn't looking good. Okay? So, we're all there. So notice what you did. You asked for help, and it came to you. Okay? Ha ha ha. Hazel Eye's got 5 bags to donate. Gonna go back through them in a couple of weeks for my second opinion. I was gonna say, I know you're kidding, but what I want to offer to you is this. At the beginning of this, just 17 minutes ago, I was talking about trusting yourself, keeping your promises to yourself. But I know, because people have gone through, and I said the rule is you can't go through. Once somebody's put something in a bag, as long as it's their stuff, including yours, you don't go through it a second time. If you're decluttering kind of, quote, the right way, and you're not doing it in a rage, and you're just shoving things in there willy-nilly, trust that you made a good decision the first time. Trust that you had a good reason to put it in that donation bag, and trust that you will not miss it while it's gone. Okay? Yeah. And Carla is saying, I totally understand. I promise if you share with people you trust, that's a big word, people. It's a wicked big word. That shows up in so many areas of life, you wouldn't believe it. But people you trust, you free them to relate, and maybe y'all can help each other. Now, I know Carla, and she's from a y'all state, so I love that. Now, I'm from New England, but I say all y'all because we're all in this together. Okay? Yep. And Cat Mom is saying, I get them out right away so I don't second guess. Okay? I love it. I love how Judy is saying, I've taken to a quick declutter anytime I sit at my craft area before I start to create. And I love that because I used to have to do that. I remember in college, I lived in a girls' dorm for a year, 2 years, and I remember one of the people who lived there was like, you always have to clean your room before you do anything. And I said, yeah, because here was the crazy thing. I grew up cluttered. I could make a room look good. My room looked awesome. I can decorate like nobody's business. At least I think so. However, I also had really cluttery habits. And in order for me to think clearly, for me to focus and create, like to write a paper or do something, I needed to clear my space. Now the cool thing is, you guys, I am not kidding. I have changed my habits. I've learned some skills. I've taught myself. That's why I'm teaching you. I've learned some skills. And I've changed my habits. Not overnight, incrementally, but now they are just my new habits. We have people coming over our house at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Our house is already, like, everything is 99% done for that. Whereas before, it would have been like, oh my God, we have to do all this stuff and people are coming over, I'm freaking out. No, we got to wipe down some stuff. We have like a thin layer of pollen all over like everything because we have the windows open now. Decluttering helps you live easier. And who doesn't love ease? I joke about, that, and this is where my Gen X brain goes to pop culture references. You know how there's that movie with Bette Davis, All About Eve? I joke that if I was Irma Bombeck, my book would be called All About Ease. Because it's just easy peasy lemon squeezy. Yeah. Oh, second opinion on the clothes you kept. Okay. Yeah, you know what? Hey, add to the bag. Never take it out. The bag is like a one-way street. Trust yourself when you put it in there. Close the bag so you don't even see the stuff, that you're not tempted to do it. It's a habit to second guess yourself. It's a habit to second guess yourself. It's a habit to repeat yourself. But you know what? Repetition kind of paves over the good things. So remind you, it smooths down. Repetition helps your brain. If it's so, you say something nice, say it twice. Okay? So here we are. For me, it's 10:20 in the morning. I feel like I'm doing a commercial break, even though I wasn't on commercial radio. I was in college radio. But you know what? Maybe even in the short time we've been hanging out, you're feeling a little bit more encouraged. Notice how that word, I love, because especially on these TikTok lives where all I can do is read your words are so interesting and powerful. Because I'll share this with you. When I was looking to get help with my life, when I was like, I can plan a road trip, yes, but my life, not so much, wasn't working out in many ways the way I wanted it to. I would get easily confused about some of the jargon that were in some of these self-help books. everybody pretty much says the same thing, but I was getting hung up on semantics. I was getting up, what's a thought? Is it a thought or is it a belief? Is it a belief? Is it a thought? Is it, is it a feeling? Look at this one, look at that one. It's just words in your head. Doesn't matter if you call it a belief or a thought. I guess a belief is words in your head that you believe, and a thought is one you decide to believe, but let's make it simple, okay? Cheryl is asking, why does uncluttering feel so much harder in our minds than it actually is? Okay, because of the words in your head. Oh my gosh, my husband got me on a thread with the people coming over today, so I'm seeing what everybody's bringing over. Notice that too, asking for help. You're having somebody over, hey, can you bring something? A little stone soup action. Uncluttering, it feels so much harder here because we have words in our minds. Perfect example is you have a thought in your head about an item. That thought is what gives it the struggle. In order to change the struggle of should I stay or should I go, do I keep it or not keep it, change the story about the thing. I know this for a fact. Somebody set up thread. I apologize, I don't remember the name, but I will give you this example, this true life example of us yesterday and today. We have a top shelf of a cupboard. I don't go to it often because I'm short and I need to pull over a kitchen chair and stand on it to look at it. But we were going somewhere and I was looking for a plastic, mug with a lid on it. I was surprised at how many we had, but each one of them had a story. Oh, those are the two we had at Disney last year or whenever they had their 50th, and we had paid for them, so I'm hanging on to them. Oh, there are the two that we got from somebody's wedding. Oh, those are the two that we have from when the theater down the street tried to do the recycling. There's that one that you bought a drink when we went to go see David Byrne on Broadway. And it was in that time where they were doing the refillable things. And I thought, this is crazy. The only thing that's keeping me, if there was no story attached to that thing, I would put it in a recycle bin or a donation bag. It was a word, it was a memory that allowed us to keep it. And it's like, oh, well, we might do that someday. I said, this is foolish. We have enough. We have enough of these things. We don't need any more. So we're not going to bring any more in. We're going to use what we have. In that little singleton from the Jumanji Theater or whatever the frick it was, is going into a donation bag this morning. And I thought, my goodness, I do this all the time professionally. I think about clutter and I help people with this all the time. I help myself with it true. Okay? I help myself with it true. I keep on saying true. Maybe because it's true. I help myself with it too. So you're not alone. Even those of us who do this all the time have stories about our things that make it a little bit more difficult. Should I stay or should I go? It's the thoughts in your head that make you feel a feeling, and when you feel a feeling, you do a thing. Or, if it's a crappy feeling, you don't do a thing. You don't declutter. You avoid it. You ignore it. You don't want to do it. On the other hand, though, on the other side, change how you talk about it in your head. It will make you feel better, and when you feel better, you're going to do better. You're going to take your hand and you're going to grab that mug and say, thank you. Yes, I will not forget that we saw David Byrne on Broadway. And then you're going to take it and put it in a donation bag and you're going to feel good. Okay? So, yeah, okay. And notice this too. So, good morning, everybody. So, it's all in your mind. And when you realize that, you can do something about it. The words in your head. Write down the opposite of what's making you feel crappy. That's what's on the other side, right? Now, this is an interesting one. So Jenny Timmerman is saying, moved my son back from college. So much stuff without a home right now. Yeah. Clutter is often on the surfaces when it doesn't have a home or it's just not in its existing home. So everybody, even if you don't have a kid coming back from school with all their stuff, look around and say to yourself, what is on my surfaces that is there simply because I haven't put it away yet? I know I've got stuff there. I've got some laundry that I took out of the dryer yesterday. It's on top of my bureau. We've got some dishes that are in the sink and on the counter that should really go in the dishwasher. So look at that stuff. Here's the interesting thing, though. Do your things all have homes? It can be temporarily cluttered and you put it away in its home, and then it looks better and now it's in its home. But if you don't have homes for your things are kind of homeless. They're kind of, loitering, all right? Give them a good home. And that home doesn't have to be in your home either. If you have things on your surfaces that you don't want, Get them out of your home and closer to somebody else's home. Donate them somewhere so somebody can grab it for themselves. Okay? Yeah. Erin, good one. Sometimes it also triggers bad memories. Cleaning and decluttering used to be a punishment. Yeah. So notice what's in your head. This is punishment. I remember the bad stories. Other people's voices are in my head when I do this. There are words in my head that aren't even mine. There's somebody else saying, you can't go downtown with your kids, your friends. You have to stay home and clean your room. You know, nope, we can't do that. We got to stay home. We can't go away. We can't do this. So notice all the words in your head and get them out of your head and write them down. Okay. Alrighty. Work in progress, Carl Holiday. Okay. Ela today is saying, what about a room full of clothes? Advice, please. Wonderful. Yes. Chunk it down and categorize it. Get your mindset, though. Before you even start, check in with yourself. Don't make it a punishment. Do it because you want to do it. Do it because you want to do it because you know you're going to feel better after you do it, even a little bit. Right now, a room full of clothing is probably not making you feel good. But if you do something with that room full of clothing, you're going to feel better even 20 minutes in, even 30 minutes in, because you're actively doing something. You're moving your body and you're taking action, but it's aligned with what you want. So a room full of clothing. Notice how it's a nice chunk. It's already just one room. What I say is categorize it. Now, yesterday when I was on my TikTok Live, this came out. Shut up there. This seemed to be very helpful. So I like to think of categorizing your clothes. And this worked yesterday, so let's try it again. See what works. We'll try it again. 2 categories. Separate your clothing into 2 piles. One pile is clothing that fits me. The other one's a pile of clothing that doesn't. Start with that. Chunk it down. Not all the clothing. All the clothing is made up of a bunch of little things. These fit me, these don't. These fit me, these don't. These don't, these don't, these don't. Oh, wow, I have a lot of clothes that don't fit me. Why am I keeping these clothes that don't fit me? Notice the tone you use, the words you use inside your head. Make sure you're not judging yourself, beating yourself up, talking meanly to yourself. Get curious about it. Not, why do I have all these clothes that don't fit me? How about, why do I have all these clothes that don't fit me? I know I had some because I gained weight. And part of me hoped to lose some weight. And then I hoped and I did some stuff and I still didn't lose the weight. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to try to love myself the way I am. Okay? I love this. I'm kind of hopping around here, but Strong Silver Solstice, it says, we saw Echo and the Bunnymen last night. Hubby and I were so tempted by the merch, yet bought nothing. So good. So good. So good. I didn't even know Echo was on tour. And yes, I have my Echo and the Bunnymen t-shirts from like 1984. I was going down memory lane about them the other day with some friends. And I don't think they'd fit me now, or I'd look like kind of a, June is busting out all over. But yes, it can be a habit to want to get the merch and say, you know what? I don't need it. I do always say this, though. Please do not think of decluttering as also denying yourself something you truly want. This is what I like to do. I say to myself, if I move away from that thing, if I leave in an hour, am I going to regret not getting that? Am I going to wish I did? Because I will share with you, and this is so crazy, Strong Silver Soul Sister. I was literally thinking of an Echo and the Bunnymen t-shirt that I regret not buying in 1982. I was thinking about it last night. It was a white t-shirt. Now, luckily, I'm not a white t-shirt kind of person. I think I'm going to Google it. It was a black and white kind of silk screen of James Dean, and then it had 2 bright pink bunny ears. I thought it was the coolest thing ever, but I hemmed and hawed, and I don't know, and I saw it, and I couldn't get back. I regret it. So pay attention to what you think you're going to regret. And if you say, you know what, if I leave here and I don't have that t-shirt, that's okay. But if you're like, you know what, I am going to regret not getting that, so I'm going to get it. Allow yourself the opportunity, but go through a bit of a soul-searching process for it. Don't deny yourself all the time. Alrighty? And then even if you do get it and you wear it for a while and you don't like it, you can donate it somewhere. Okay? I love this. S74 is saying, having a clean and organized space helps so much with mental well-being. Hell yeah. I'm not doing this just to make your house look pretty. I love a pretty looking house. But I want you, like me, feeling good in your house. I want you feeling good in your home. Every single room, not just the ones that are on public display. I want you to feel good when you open up that closet door so you can find your stuff. That the closet you have, seriously, some of you saw my TikTok video. I brought a bunch of stuff down to a vintagey consignee store that we have in town. I had a lot of that stuff in a closet for a while. I knew I was going to donate it. And actually, I thought I was going to donate it to 2 places, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to donate it to this one place. Now I have a closet that doesn't have that stuff in it anymore. Now I can hang up the bags in that closet more easily so I can more easily find my bags. Easy. Looking good, feeling good. Okay? Laura's been cleaning out a closet once a week. I love it. Okay, so Jenny Stowe, okay? My mom is moving into assisted living. No idea what to do with all of her nice things. Okay, notice 2 words you use there. It's funny, I was never an English major, whatever, but I love noting the words that we can work with. Notice all of her nice things. Notice that we tend to look at things all or nothing. I got to make a decision on all of this stuff. All or nothing thinking is kind of that overwhelm to chunk it down. So instead of all of her nice things, how about some of her nice things? Do you know what to do with some of her nice things? Do you know what you want to do with one of her nice things? But also, the other word I would circle and get curious about is nice. She may think they're nice. They're her things. Do you think they're nice? Do you want them in your home? If you want them, if you legit want them in your home, make a home for them in your home. But here, talk about giving yourself flexibility if you don't want them, if you don't think they're nice. Find another home for them, okay? Find another home. But chunk it down. You can't, if you look at the whole thing, you're going to get overwhelmed. You're going to see what do you consider nice? What do you want? It's about you and making decisions and listening to you, okay? Now, similarly, S74 is saying, but what do you do if your partner is messy and won't change? She says, looking at her husband's window right there. No, I love him. Separating is not an option. Folding laundry says, good question. All right? And what I want to say is, I just lost it, sorry. Crippity crap. Work on yourself first. Work on yourself first. Don't go blaming somebody else. Don't go blaming. Keep yourself working on your own stuff. Are you perfect? No. You've got stuff you struggle with. Am I perfect? No. Are my shoes kind of a paper trail of shoes around the house? Well, now they're not because I realized it and I moved them. Work on your own stuff. And not just the surfacey things. What are the things that bug you about your mate, clutter-wise? Turn that mirror on you. How are you doing with that stuff? And get better at it. I will say this, a lot of times clients are saying, even without, like, people will start to maybe just see what you're modeling, the behavior you're modeling. You may also have a better appreciation for how mindless a lot of this is because you're used to having habits. Okay? So try it. All right? And I love it, Strong Silver Soul Sister, taking a picture of things. So, husband took a picture of the theater marquee. It warms my heart just as well. Yes, the wonderful thing is, you guys, nowadays we have digital cameras. We can take pictures of everything. My digital camera roll is turning into basically my chronological, like photo album, instead of the ones that are on the second shelf of that desk of that closet that's in my office. We never had this opportunity before. It's so funny. I was talking to a friend about the Smiths, and she's like, oh, look, here's a picture of Morrissey I took with my disc camera that I had to get printed out, and now I have it, and it's blurry, but you didn't know it was blurry until weeks later. Be grateful for the ability that you can take a picture of something and then have that as the memory. You don't need the item. Okay? Now, Beth is saying, I'm a Beth, so let me help you with that. I have trouble knowing where to put paperwork. Okay. Where do you want to put it? We have a desk. It was very cool. We got the top refinished. I've wanted to do that for 20 years. Waited for the right person, got it done. Chef's kiss. Now we're putting stuff back in the drawers. Where do you want to put it? Where's a place that makes sense to your brain? Where would you go to look for your paper if you had it? Ask yourself. Okay? All right. What to keep and what to shred. Okay. Now you can Google a lot of this, but the really easy peasy thing is look for why, ask yourself, why am I keeping this? Why am I keeping this? Well, probably because if it's sentimental, that's different. That's a whole different category. But if it's just paperwork, you're saving it because you need to prove to somebody that you paid money for something for taxes in case you get audited. And they can only audit you for 7 years. Anything else after that, legit, you should probably be like, haha, you can't get me if you did something. So 7 years for any kind of tax-related things. Any kind of paperwork that proves that you made a major purchase, let's say if you're going to sell your house, or the documentation if you think you're going to sell your car about, here's the time that I got all the oil change. What else? Insurance. Maybe you've got homeowners insurance that if something happens, tornado. People live in tornado places. I have a client who lives in Florida, and she kept all these receipts and things, and she was able to get her money back when a hurricane hit. But ask yourself, why am I keeping this? It could just be a habit. You may be keeping I do this, but I have a habit and I don't mind it. We have somebody who cuts our lawn a couple of times a month. He sends us this. He puts a thing in the mailbox. I see it. I write out a check, old timey. I mail it to him, and then I write paid and the date, and I put it in a slot. It takes me like 2 minutes. I don't know, in case Joe is ever asking, didn't you get my thing? It's like it's right here. You may have a habit. Okay, you may have a habit. Okay. I love it. Carla says, yesterday my friend said, hey, we got to take pictures for Beth. We stopped mid-work for pictures. I love it. Polnichik is saying, got a gal picking up 2 bags of clothes. So much easier to get rid of stuff when others need it. You know what that is? That's a story in your head that makes you feel good. When somebody else needs this, I don't need it. You want it? You're generous. I can share what I have, and it helps somebody else. Notice you're telling yourself a different story. Not about the clothing I'm losing and I did about all that story. I feel better when I know that it's going to go to somebody who's going to appreciate it. So do that more. Tell yourself better stories, people. Tell yourself better stories. Okay? Here, Cat Mom, I can help you. Someone gave names on the live who makes quilts from teas. There is a person. I used Project Repat, but you may find quilters in your area who do it too. Okay. Jennifer Gulak got your bedroom done yesterday. So many clothes donated. Jennifer, if you care to share with anybody, you can. And how does it feel walking into that room now that it looks different than it did even a day ago? How do you feel? Not just how does it feel? How does it feel to treat me like you do? How do you feel when you walk into that room now that you've decluttered? I'm hoping it's going to be better. We're not going for perfect, people. No. We are on our way to better, because better feels better. Okay? Yep. Michelle could fill a room with souvenirs for travel. If I don't watch it, so could I. But you know what I keep is memories and photos. I leave in less than 24 hours. I'm going to be on a plane somewhere. I'm going to allow myself the opportunity to buy souvenirs. But here's an interesting thing. Because I declutter, I have different habits now of thinking about these things. Instead of saying to myself, we never went on vacation and, we never got souvenirs as a kid, I will say that I allow myself to buy the thing, but I can picture it. I need to have a home for it in my home before I buy it. If I buy that, where's it going to be? And if I say, I'll figure it out later, no. I have to do, you know what, this would look really good, X. Or I will wear this, Y. Okay? Notice these things. Yes, Jennifer is saying about doing her bedroom. It feels so amazing and so relaxing. Yeah. Ms. Risner says, a Morrissey reference and a New Order reference, my kind of girl. Oh, hell yeah. I am so New Wave and Gen X, it's not even funny. This is how my brain works. Literally, I will say, how does it feel? And I'm like, that's a song lyric. You know who that is. And then it's how does it feel? And it's not like a Rolling Stone. It's either, oh no, what was it? Dead Kennedys. Oh, what was that? It's so funny because now I'm an aging Gen Xer. I'm like, what was that band name? It was the one, I'll have to ask my friend Jeannie. How does it feel to be the mother of 1,000 dead? Bah, bah, bah. She was more punk rock. I was totally New Wave. I love it. Everyday Friend says, I buy pencils when I travel. Gives me gratification and easy packs. I hope you use your pencils too. Judy, I love it. You do your thing. Pencils are inexpensive too. You know? Yeah, it's and Strong Silver Soul Sister says, it's the thinking different about things which has helped me. Yes. Yes. Up here, people. Up here. Up here. Yes. Okay. Acquiring and accumulating our habits. Yeah. I love it. Today I'm taking the day off and going on a date with my hubby. Jennifer, enjoy yourself. Yeah. No, not, yeah. You know what? Crass. I believe the name of the band. It was a punk rock band. When I'm off the TikToks in like 18 minutes, I'll Google it. I believe they were called Crass, and they had a song, and it was called How Does It Feel? And it was like to be the mother of 1,000 dead. Look, Becky is looking forward to getting my summer clothes out and going through them with a new outlook to declutter. Yeah, me too. Me too. It's really funny because the season shift here in Pennsylvania has happened. It's crazy because I took laundry out of the dryer yesterday. It had been there. It had been hanging out in the dryer for a while, so I fluffed it up. I'm human. And I realized how crazy it was that since the time that stuff was in there, the thing had shifted. I had long socks. I had my fleece-lined yoga pants. I had long sleeve black t-shirts. I had my hoodies. And I was like, oh, wow, it's no longer this season. So you know what I do? I've started to put those things aside because I'm going to put them away for the next season. And now, and probably after today, after our friends come over, well, it'll have to be after, I'm going to be starting to pack for our trip. Now, we're going someplace warm, so I need to look at my my warm weather clothes, see if they still fit me, see if I still want to wear them, see if I still like them. And I will totally have a bag next to me when I go through that, like a kitchen garbage bag, that if I don't want the things and I don't think I'm going to wear them this season, I will donate them. So I love that idea, Yes, Michelle is saying, I love show homes for this reason. Zero clutter. Zero clutter, but not a lot of personality. I like personality in my home. You guys have seen the background in some of my videos and TikToks and stuff. There's personality aplenty. Okay? So I want your home to feel like your home. I want you to feel joy and comfort. I want you to look at stuff and not say, wow, this looks exactly like that generic Pottery Barn catalog page. If you like that, that's you. But I want you to look at stuff and feel joy. Okay? There we go. Miss Olympus Johnson says, take all your clothes, start putting back in your favorites until your closet is full, and donate the rest. Yeah. And Kara is saying the Bob Dylan one. Yeah, see, this is the funny thing for me. I am totally, and maybe that's the subtle shift between there's the boomers, and then there's Generation Jones, and then is Generation X. I know I am, because I almost said Route 66. I was born in 66, so I am elder Gen X, but I am so much more Gen X than I am. Like, I hang out with Generation Joneses, but I am so much more New Order than Bob Dylan, Oh, hey, somebody's going to go see the Rolling Stones tonight at the MetLife. Awesome. Yep, and some people were too. It's all good. It's all music. I got the music in me. All right, Hazel Eyes 1954. I need to figure out what to buy to organize. Shelves or cubby things. Don't know which way to go. All right, let me help you with this. Generation Jones. Yes, Bobby Dugas. Becky says Generation Jones. Google it. It's like 1956, maybe it's 60 to 64, 65. It's the one that's in between boomers. Because remember, baby boomers were basically people when they came back from the war. So that was like 44, 45, 46. Anyhow, I could get into that. But I want to help Hazel Eyes 1954. Stop in the name of love. Stop before you go out and buy cubbies and stuff. Make sure you're decluttering, okay? Don't buy a product, except for my coaching. Do not buy a container thinking it's going to solve your clutter problems. It will only add to your clutter. Let me repeat that for the people in the back, the people in the nosebleed seats. I'm on the stage here. Don't think that containers are going to solve your clutter problems. Okay? Containers do not solve the problems. Containers enable, I call them enablers. They enable you to think you did something, but you really don't. Okay? So notice what you want If you've already decluttered and now you're in the displaying and organizing and giving homes to the things you know you want, then decide. You'll see on the back of my TikTok lives and my videos that I have that IKEA shelf in the back. So funny how often I've got like squares in the back. There are things you may want to put out on display that you look at and make you feel good. That would be, cubbies. The other ones might be something that you need a drawer or something you want hidden that's not too attractive, but you want to keep it and you want it to look good. Okay? But please notice everybody. Yes, Michelle is saying, I have a bunch of containers, strong Silver Soul Sisters. Containers can be the problem. At least they were for me. Immediately, when I went to go declutter my mother's house for her, with her, immediately what I noticed was that she was trying to solve her problem with containers. So immediately what I did is I took the stuff out of the containers, so we dealt with the stuff. I put the containers down the basement. If we needed the container later, I would know where it went. But inevitably, once we went through the stuff together, she didn't need or want 95% of what was in the containers. And then you're thinking, but I got this container, I should use it for something. Legit, she did that to me. Listen to me, the way I'm talking about it. I heard her say that to herself when I was up visiting her the last time. I say up because she's in New England. It's a way of thinking, okay? Yes, everybody. You know who tells us that containers are going to get you organized? It's people who sell containers. I could sell containers. I could recommend things from the container store. The only thing I want you to buy if you work with me is literally like a spiral bound notebook and like a journal. Other than that, we work up here about your decision making, about what do you want and what do you want, So notice these things. Yeah, Cat Mama says, yep, just donated a big container with stuff stored in the cellar. That's the great thing, though. When you have containers and you're decluttering, you can use those. You can put your stuff that you are donating into the containers and donate the both. I did that the other day, actually, and the guy was like, do you want the container back? I'm like, no. The container is all yours, okay? And here, you know what? And don't be guilty about guilt. We're all learning. Carly, you're in good company. Guilty of buying containers, then the hard to try to find a space for the containers, of course. So we change that. We look at what you're trying to contain, and we free it from its containers, and then you decide you probably have too many containers. You have an imbalance of containers. Then we get the balance right. Little Depeche Mode reference there, people. Get the balance right, and then feel good about rehoming your containers you don't need. It's going to help somebody else. And then it'll be easier for you to find a home for that. Okay? Good morning. Oh, somebody's putting his clothes out. Gonna wear something snazzy when we have people over. I saw the text threads going by. I'll catch up on it. Okay? Yes, give containers. Use them to your advantage. Containerize the stuff that you're donating. Yeah, notice it. See, Carly, isn't this great? Everybody. Many people are saying, yep, containers, I have tons. Yeah, Cheryl says the only thing I allow in containers is my photos. That's it. Yeah, shame helps me stay stuck. Yeah, it helps you, but you want to stay stuck and paralyzes me from action. There's nothing to be ashamed of here, people. Shame dies in the sunlight. Bring it out of the open. What are you ashamed of? That you don't know a skill? That you have a habit that you didn't even realize you had until, wow. Boy, did I buy a lot of pink things during COVID. Totally. Did I buy a lot of fake plants when I had those Michaels 50% off coupons? Okay. So notice where shame is get you stuck. You have words in your head that make you feel whatever shame is feeling. Write that stuff down. Flip it and reverse it. What's making you feel shameful? Say there's nothing to be shameful for, but get those thoughts out of your head. It's just so much easier to do it if you're writing it down than you are trying to, organize everything in your head. All right? If you don't want to be paralyzed, you want to take action, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. Ooh, I love it, Strong Silver Soul Sister. Get rid of the clutter and enjoy the silence. And you know what the great thing is? The silence in your head. When you look around and none of your stuff is like, what do I do with that? Where does it go? Blah, blah, blah. You're just like, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. You'll love it at love it. When you just look around and see love, it feels so good. And that's when you go Chuck Mangione, all right? Yeah, I love it. I waited until I decluttered my shed to buy some containers so I knew what size and how many I needed. Yes, because you weren't saying the containers, you were buying the container to solve a containering problem. There's an order of operations to do the things. Do the decluttering first and then decide what containers. You've seen it. If I didn't have containers, all my stuff would be in a big heap on the floor. You need containers, but you need to declutter first. You don't need to do any of this, though, but if you want to, that's the order you go in. Okay? All right. Sorry, hon. What about your parents' things after they pass? Such an emotional attachment to keep them. Yes. I want you to think of this, okay? Clutter comes in 3 flavors, 3 varieties, 3 layers of clutter. Ooh, it's so funny. I put my hand up there and it's in the sun. It's a warm day. Surface clutter, stored clutter, sentimental clutter. Notice where my hand is at, right here. Sentimental clutter. My hand is at my heart, because this is where the stories, the words in your head that make you feel a feeling are hitting you, is in the feels. Okay? Cat Mama is saying it's a process, and Cat Mama is still in it. Okay? Work at a pace that works for you. Cat Mama is saying it's a process. It is a journey. Work at a pace that works for you. Start with your parents' surface clutter, the stuff that didn't mean a lot. Do you want it? Here's the deal. When somebody passes, I know this, going through it with my friend, everything they touch has a bit of their energy to it. However, at a certain point, you will see that, well, that was just a piece of paper she touched, but man, that was that chair she sat in the whole time. That's that t-shirt she wore. Some things have a stronger kind of an emotional attachment. So start with the easy stuff. The stuff that it's like, oh, I don't know, I guess she bought that mug at some point, but it doesn't really have a connection. Start with the easy stuff, the light weights, the surfacey things. Then go another layer deeper and another layer deeper. But then when you get to the sentimental stuff, look at your own life. What do you want to keep in your home? You find a home for it. If you don't want to keep any of it, that's okay. Somebody else out there may want it. Okay? Yes. Melissa is saying, ask yourself if you want to take this with you for the rest of your journey. Yeah, we have a little vintage camper in our garage. We're not camper people. We found out after we bought the camper. Imagine if every single thing you owned, that you had to bring in a little vintage camper on you with everywhere you go. In a way you do. You carry the stuff with you. Mentally, physically, emotionally. Do you want to carry that with you for the rest of your life, or can you let it go and travel lighter? Becky is saying, take photos of what you can't keep. I did this and it helped me so much. We're here to people. Yep, take photos. So helpful. Yep, Strong Silver Soul Sister. Beth, this was me too when I started decluttering, but shame slowed me down. I had to let it go. Yes, let go of the shame. Let go of the shame. Let go of the judgment of yourself. Let go. Let it go. Oops, hit the wrong button. Think of your kids. Do you want to pass those feelings on to them? They won't want most of it. Think of your kids, but also think of yourself. And if you struggle with making decisions for things that are for yourself because you think it's, what do I want to say, like jealous or greedy or selfish, if it helps you to release things by looking at it through somebody else's eyes, do it. Find a tool that works for you and use it. Okay? Yes, exactly. I'm just going to take this ashtray. I don't need anything except for this ashtray and this tennis racket. I got to work on that because I know the specifics because my husband and I use that all the time. I'm leaving the house. I just need to take this, and then I'm going. Yeah, totally. I was born a poor black child. The new phone book's here. All right. Tamara is jumping into my closet to declutter today, thanks to me. Awesome. I hope in these last 55 minutes or so that I've been hanging on and we've been all exchanging things, that you have gotten a feeling in you, and notice the difference. Notice all we've done today is talked. Talking is words coming out of your mouth. They started up here, they came out the mouth. If I've done my job right, but if what I hoped to be done is done, is those words might have made you feel a feeling. I hope they didn't make you feel discouraged or shameful. That's not. If anything, I am I'm on the sunny side of the street right here. I am all about noticing the difference you feel when you feel encouraged. This is doable, not judged, not shameful, that you feel open to learning something. So I hope you notice the power of just some different words in your head for a short amount of time. You might hear them in my voice, but I want you to hear them in your voice. Now, the funny thing is I realized that legit, remember when I said, okay, the last TikTok live that I have scheduled, it was on Friday, and then I said, but I might do some TikTok lives. I legit won't be doing a live for at least the next week plus. I am traveling, but I want you to not lose any of this good vibrations. Good vibrations that's going on here. There are TikTok live videos recorded. You can listen to them at your leisure. There are legit over 200 of them. Also, after I upload today's, the May ones have been, oh, this is so good that I'm signing off now because everything's getting wicked loud where I am. All the May ones that have been only available for the people on the Destination Decluttered mailing list are going to be set to public, so you can watch the most recent ones. But there's well over a year's worth, and they're chunked down so you can watch them, okay? Also, if you get on the mailing list, I will be sending it out an email tonight, just to give you a heads up on what the next 2 weeks look like and what coaching with me in the summer is going to look like. So if you're curious about that, my email is free. It's low key. Why would I clutter up your email box? Okay, destinationdecluttered.com/join. Also, if you're curious about what coaching would be like with me, is the email list people always get first dibs on everything. Too legit to quit. Oh my God, Scouty, and I'm totally get distracted. A little bit of ADHD going on. Says I cleaned my blinds during this live. I gotta clean our blinds. Don't want to. Gotta do it. But knowing that you could do it, knowing that I can put something on in the background that makes it easier for me, heck, maybe I'll listen to one of my own TikTok lives at some point. Yes, and Boomer9254, it's nice knowing I'm not the only one stuck in clutter. Oh, Honey Bunch, no. We live in a society that says buy things to make yourself feel better. That if enough is good, then more is better. It is a habit. It is reinforced. You are not alone. You've got good company. Okay? Yeah, Cheryl says you help with positive self-talk and gentleness with myself. Shame can be so unbelievably harsh. And that's where we put up our traffic cop hand. Get your whistle out, traffic cop hand. Boop. Nope. None of that. No more. No more shame. No more harshness. That does not work. I don't like it. It does not work for me to feel like I'm getting beat up. I am not like that. It does not work for me. If it does, that's fine. There are people out there who say, they get, people are being mad at them, like, just do it. There's a bit of that, but if you're not just doing it, yelling at you is not going to make you feel better. How about asking, why are you not doing it? Being kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others, as my husband says. Okay. Yes, we've been all groomed to buy. There we go. Yeah. Have my dad's police whistle. Stop and redirect that traffic. I'm not going down that road. No, I'm not going to be judgy or shameful or mean to myself. I'm going to then not just not go down that road. I'm going to pave a new road. I'm going to start talking nicely to myself. I'm going to do things that make me feel better, because when I feel better, I do better. Okay? Hey, no shame, but it feels weird to be the only cluttery person in my family friend group. You know what? I gotta say, I think the clutter people are the cool people. The boring people are the people that don't collect stuff, that they don't tell stories in their heads, that that they don't think a lot. I love my clutter people. I am you and you are me and we are all together. Crap, that makes me the walrus, okay? I love it. It's an ever-evolving process. Decluttering is like diamonds, valuable and forever. I love it. Diamonds are forever. Yes, creative people clutter. Yep. Okay, is your email attached to your profile? It is, but the better thing to do actually is go to my website. I say this because there's a form on my website where you can you can sign up immediately. It gets you right on the mailing list. If you email me, I'll just have to manually add you. DestinationDecluttered.com. My name is Beth, Destination Decluttered. Here on TikTok, like my page. I got to sign off because we have people coming. And I hope you have a wonderful week, a wonderful day, a long weekend. And remember, treat yourself nice, okay? Treat yourself nice. All right, I am the Walrus. And all you need is love, okay? I'll see you when I get back.